So I watched a series on Netflix, and it was talking about the Beckham and the Beckham family. Now, what I want to talk about, I saw a video of Marissa Peer who was talking about Victoria Beckham and her stickability, and I really liked the idea of it, and I thought to talk about it. Now, Victoria Beckham was said to have staying power. And not just staying power, she knew what she wanted and she went for it. So starting from there, she saw Beckham himself and said, I'm going to go for him. And she did go for him. She started different brands. They might not have done the best, but she went for it, right? And she stuck with it and she stayed with it. And I started asking myself, what is the effect of having staying power, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, the effect of having staying power. And staying power in every area, staying power in your career, staying power in your marriage, staying power in your relationships, staying power in your health and wellness, yes? Staying power in the place of work or whatever you choose to do. Because one of the things that they've said about the Gen Zs, and I'm for Gen Zs, but one of the things that I would say my contemporaries, or one of the challenges they have with the Gen Zs and the ones that come after, is that they're too impatient. They don't wait. They don't stay. So they get into a marriage, after 1 month they're out. They get to a job, after 1 month they're out. They get into a relationship, after 1 month they're out, because they don't have that staying power. And I started to ask, where did we lose it? Because for one, I always say that our parents stay too long. Well, not all, but some of them stay too long. And so I started to think about it, that, okay, did they stay too long? Or is that what they call unconditional love? Are we in so much of a hurry, even if I'm not a Gen Z, but I'm maybe a tad bit higher. But are we in a hurry to get out of things rather than putting in the time? The Bible calls it long suffering. I try not to add suffering to it, but it's that staying power, the tenacity and the resilience to want to see something through to its conclusion before you move ahead to something else, and throwing in everything. Are there times when throwing in everything is worth it? And are there times when throwing in everything is you actually backing up the wrong tree? Because sometimes you put in everything only to find out that you've climbed the wrong mountain and you have been doing it for 50 years. So how do we create some kind of harmony? Because I'm not looking for a balance. I'm looking for some kind of harmony. That yes, we ran away from what our parents went through by saying you shouldn't have stayed too long. He showed you pepper. You showed her pepper. Because everybody showed everybody pepper. It wasn't just a masculine thing. Women also did wrong to men. And so I'm not putting any blame on any sex. I'm just saying some of the things that they did. Is there a way that we can take some of the good and then add some of what we are thinking it should have been evolving into to create something that actually works for us? So when is it time for you to get out of a marriage? I would say once there's domestic violence and emotional abuse, get out. Get out first, save yourself. But when those things don't exist, and it's what the challenge is communication. Is there a way that we can learn better communication? How much leeway do we give ourselves? And I'm going to focus a little bit more on marriage, because that's a very long-term relationship. And that relationship can also affect the entire side of our lives. So our health and wellness can be affected by our marriage. Our spirituality can be affected by our marriage. Our career and finances can be affected by our marriage. Our other relationships and relationship with ourselves can be affected by a marriage. So I'm going to stay here a little bit. When is it okay to say we don't know enough? Let's go and learn. Because a lot of parents think, oh, I'm an adult. I know how to train children. I also was trained by. Or who trained us to be good wives or husbands? Who trained us? And I use that good very, very lightly. And I say good because you become more effective when you have more knowledge. Not good as in character traits. And when we say that's a good wife, that's a bad wife. Someone says, oh, the Proverbs 31 woman, the virtuous woman. What does that mean? What does that mean? I always ask that question. And they say, oh, she's industrious, she's this. So what, is there a virtuous man? Is there a place for the virtuous man? So if we're talking about women, are we also extending it to the man? Because we're both human beings. And if for you to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or anything, you've got to go to school for it. So what school do you go to be a husband, for example, that teaches you the basics of what a husband is and who a husband is? What school did we go to teach you about how to be a wife or a mother? What school taught you how to know the different stages that your body will go through and the hormones that will come with it and the things you need to do? What school taught us what to do after pregnancy, after child delivery? If we went through any school, our mothers in-laws will not be demonic, as we call them. The people that come and expect you to just get up and bounce back and do certain things, because they also went through school to teach them to be better parents, they would extend that same kindness towards you. So what school have we been to or been through to teach us how to do that? Now, we don't score ourselves so low when we don't do well. Is there a way that you will do well when you actually don't even know what well means? Is there a way? And nobody has taught you that process of doing well? So stickability, yes, is important. Stickability and staying power will start from you saying, because I want to be a great wife and mother, husband and father, I want to go to school for it. Right? For you to be a fashion designer, for you to even run a business, you learned business. You learned economics. You went to school for it. And that has kept you, and for you to even keep getting higher and higher, you have done more professional courses. You have gotten better. The new knowledge comes out, you go and grab it. You pay for masters, you pay for mistress, you pay for PhD, you pay for, you go and you keep doing courses to keep getting you abreast with the new laws and the new terminologies and the new, who does that for us? Because we've forgotten that the children also are in stages. They start off as infants, then they move to toddlers, then they have preschool years, then you have school years, then you have teenage years, then you have early adulthood, so we even have stages. Who is teaching us as parents how to deal with those stages when we get there as children, because we've never done it before? Lisa Nichols used to say to her child, this is the first time that I'm a mother of an 18-year-old, so I'm asking you for grace and ease. Check that out. But she didn't stop there. For her to do it, she had to get some learning. So what learning are we getting to keep us abreast in being good mothers and good wives, keep us abreast with being good fathers and good husbands, that technology has come out now? How do we work with technology and still create some kind of synergy with our children, so that we're not completely distant from each other, and to send message from upstairs downstairs, rather than come downstairs you send text message, and so we can now all relate on our phone. Who is teaching us what to do with the new things that are coming out? We had the metaverse at some point. We didn't finish with universal. We moved to metaverse. The metaverse became a big problem because they didn't envisage or see the problems that would come, because nobody sat down to think about all the new problems that will evolve from it. So now that we've kind of gone quiet a little bit on the metaverse. It's no longer as big as it used to be at the time. Maybe they are going to come back with something new. But who is teaching us how to have that resilience and stickability and staying power to keep getting better at being better human beings? Now, some people say it's your job, it's your company's responsibility if you work in an organization. Maybe to some extent, but what's your own personal responsibility? The only way that you can have staying power and stay good at anything for a long period of time is because you have been getting better and better at it by going for training, by implementing it, and then seeing the results. So today I'm asking us, how do we want to take some from the old, add some from what is working for us now, and creating a scenario or a strategy or a plan that would help us keep getting better at the things that we choose to be and then do and then have? What is going to teach us to stay there and keep grinding, just knowing that this thing is where I put all my eggs in and it's going to work? But I don't just sit down and expect it to work on its own. I'm also putting in the effort. I'm sure if Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, if David Beckham wasn't putting in an effort to make the marriage work, and Victoria also wasn't putting in an effort, and they didn't go through therapy, because they did. You need to watch the video on YouTube, or sorry, on Netflix. You'll see they had to go through therapy to help themselves, because at some point they would have gone their separate ways. And so let's put that into every other thing that we're doing. For us to have staying power, we must have the belief that this thing works. But the belief is not just enough. It's about what are we going to do and keep doing to keep being the best at the thing that we're chosen. So whether it's a father, whether it's a mother, whether it's a husband, wife, whether it's a boss, whatever you decide to do, what are you doing that will keep getting you to keep getting better, so that you can have longer staying power? And that staying power is not long suffering, is that you are getting better at the thing because you are making it very intentional. It has become non-negotiable to you to succeed in this thing. But that's not enough. Once again, what are you going to keep doing to keep getting better at that thing so that you can keep staying better? I listen to Tony Robbins and all my teachers, and they've all had to keep doing things to help themselves, going for courses, having mentors, having coaches, because we always know that there's something better. We can be better at something. And if you can be, why would you not be? That's my question for you today.